Spit it out.
All right.
Okay. Ready?
We are ready.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Spirit Cafe Sessions with your hosts, Kim.
We got Kim and Nikki.
I was waiting for Kim to introduce herself.
The
That was a
two of
fail.
us.
Probably
I'm
should have
Kim.
should have told her I was planning to do that. I don't know. It's what time change. I'm looking at the time change.
Time change. Yeah. We fell
Time
back.
change.
We're lagging a little.
Seriously. I actually felt pretty good at the time change, but there's a few people that I spoke to today that they were like, "Man, I'm struggling. I am struggling with this time change." I think I overslept on the weekend. Maybe that was it.
Oh, this one was way better than like
I
the
think
one
so.
when it goes
I
forward.
spring forward. Ugh, I
Hmm.
hate it. Why we even have that? I don't understand it. Don't understand it. Not even necessary, but no. Anyway, also I forgot to tell Kim, everybody, I made my spiced honey today. I did it, Kim.
Did you?
Yes,
Nice. Your
finally made it.
fire honey.
Oh god, I love it so much. If any
Nice.
people who don't know what that is a staple when you are sick, right, Kim? I mean,
Mhm.
multiple recipes on the internet for it, but honestly, it's honey, it's cinnamon, it's black pepper, it's cayenne pepper, it's turmeric, it's ginger, it's all that good stuff that helps with inflammation when you get sick, and it's a godsend. So I made it today. So simple to make too, eh?
Sounds yummy.
Yeah, it was
So
really
is
good.
there ginger in there as well? You said?
Oh yeah, I put a lot of ginger and turmeric because I love those things so much, so
Hmm.
I do load on them. But honestly, like I find like with 1 cup, like 1 teaspoon's enough if you make this stuff and you simmer it for like only a few minutes on the stove, and it's freaking amazing. I can take it like on the spoon, but some people have to dilute it with water, which is fair because of the pepper. But
Okay.
I'm telling you, like it's a godsend for me, and I probably should have created it a couple weeks ago when I was really sick, but I didn't because I'm a procrastinator. Anyway,
That's all right. You got it now.
that's right. I'm gonna have to share some with my mom. I know that. Okay, so we are super excited for this topic because this is something that you guys have come to us multiple times, and that is, has your reading got you shook? And we're not just talking about readings from, tarot readers or mediums that tell you really horrible things or untrue things, but these are also readings that maybe you received that scared you because you didn't expect to hear that news, or you didn't know how to deal with it, basically. So we're going to give you advice. I got a couple of stories, nothing major. But I think it's going to be a really good episode because there's a lot of people who, when they get these readings, they don't know what to do after with it,
No,
and they
and it can even
overthink it.
be like a very, simple reading, but sometimes when people are hearing it come, especially if it's your first mediumship reading and someone comes
Right.
through to you and it can really kind of shake all you believe, right? Especially if you
Absolutely.
are a skeptic or, are trying to prove somebody to be wrong. It can really shake the foundation when you get evidence that this is actually real.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to get further into that. I'm going to pull the card of the week for everybody. I'm pulling from the wonderful deck that Kim got me. I was a little annoyed. So, I mean, hopefully, this person who sent me this message doesn't listen to this podcast. But I had somebody send me a message that when I read with this deck that Kim got me on TikTok, it's hard for them to see the images.
Oh,
I'm
well, a good thing they're not the ones doing the reading.
What I thought. I didn't say anything. I just said, "Well, thanks for the information," or whatever I said to them. I'm
Yeah.
not changing it. I understand that maybe it's a little bit difficult to read, but my God,
They're
look how cool it is.
pretty.
I like it.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Mhm.
so the card of the day is the Eight of Pentacles, and I like that card of the week, I should say, because it means that for a lot of us, we might be feeling super focused. We might be feeling like we want to take charge and throw all of our energy behind a goal that we have, something that we have in our ambitions list, if we have an ambition list. We just really are, we have our eye on the prize, and we're going to throw all of our energy into it. And I love this card because right after it comes the Nine of Pentacles, which is having the plans, having everything ready, having everything go, not telling a lot of people, putting it out there and receiving what it is the fruits of your labor. So I feel like a lot of people this week might find that they are really, really busy when it comes to their jobs, when it comes to their goals, when it comes to whatever you are focused on, but you are absolutely going to reap the benefits from it by the end of the year, for sure.
Nice. Yeah, definitely a positive thing.
And the tea I'm drinking today, because I almost forgot. Again, I got it from Steve's Artesian Tea Shop here in my the city that I live in. I actually got this as a gift from a friend for my birthday, and it's called Blueberry Gunpowder Tea. And I've not had this one before, but I've heard good things. It's a green tea. Man, can you taste the blueberries? You
Oh,
can
really?
taste, yeah, it's so good. And of course, I put my honey in it because everybody knows I like honey. But it's so freaking good. I am going to link Steve's website and Steve's stuff to this episode because I think I've talked about this shop more than once, but I haven't actually linked it anywhere. But it's so good and I love it. Blueberry gunpowder is so good.
Yeah, usually you don't. They say that they taste like something, but they really don't.
Oh, it's so blueberry. Blueberry.
This
That's not a
morning,
word.
it's funny talking about that. My sister's here and with my nephew, and my kids went
Right.
to school. So I said, let's just take my oldest kid, drop him off at the high school. We'll swing around because she needed to get a London fog from Tim Hortons. So I said,
Yum.
we'll pick that up before, I come home and go to work. And so I got, I guess, um, Tim Hortons now has chai latte,
Yep.
and it's not as good as Second Cup at
I
all.
was gonna say it's
But
not that
so
good
we
though.
got a London fog, we got a chai latte, and we got the double double, like regular double double.
Right.
And I was supposed to have the chai latte, and I, like, took the she's like, "Oh, this is yours." So I went to taste it, and I said, "This isn't chai." She's like, "Yes, it is. That's what it says." And I said, "It's not. It's absolutely coffee unless I can." She's like, "No, no, no, it's chai." And then "Oh, no, that's coffee."
Oh,
Yeah,
see?
they just a little flavors. It's like, "Oh, but oh gosh, it's not the same."
No, it's not.
Gotta go to
Yeah,
Second Cup.
you might. I laugh there because a lot of people that listen to our podcast, they're not from Canada. So can you
Oh.
explain to them what a double double is?
Oh, well, I don't drink it myself, but
Me either.
at Tim Hortons, when you ask for a double double, you get double cream and double sugar.
Yeah, and it's like so many people I know drink that. I don't know how. I drink my coffee with
Oh,
a
so
tiny bit of
sweet.
milk, and that's it.
Yeah,
Almond
I
milk if I
don't.
can, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a staple here. People love their double doubles here.
Yeah, and I don't even know, they don't even make Tim Hortons coffee the way they used to. I do McDonald's now, so
Yeah,
it's much better.
much better.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes, yes, yes. Anyhow, yes.
okay,
So let's talk about readings.
that's right. Moving on from coffee and tea
While we
talk.
are here. Um, so a lot of people will get a reading, and um and it'll be their first reading, and I will notice very visibly, and this is actually a lot of the reason why I ask people to record them, if especially if it is their first reading.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, you can tell by just the information that's coming into them that they are almost trying to reconcile, like, what is happening, what is being said with, like, logics and, all the things that they believe, and it's almost like they zone out.
Right.
So, uh, I have a lot of people who've had their first reading. It'll take a couple days for them to come back and be like, "Oh my gosh, like, that made so much sense." But that's after they've listened to it a few times and kind of been able to sit inside it.
Mhm.
And I know that it can be quite, unnerving for some people, because a lot of times they'll get these readings, and again, like I said, if if you're not really sure what you're going to get or whatever, when someone brings you like evidential proof of someone where there's no way that I could know anything, about these people, and I bring it through, it takes a little bit. Like, it's almost like a shock, right?
Yeah.
And so I say to them, like, understand, be gentle with yourself, understand you're not going to remember everything right away. And it can be quite difficult, right? For them. So, but I
Interesting.
imagine you have a lot of people who have, you know, Especially with the tarot, right? Telling you, giving you features and stuff like that. You must run into a lot of people who are shook by
Um,
what
I do. And we definitely can start off with the tarot portion, because I have many people come to me telling me that I actually had somebody come to me, was it Saturday? It was this past weekend, telling me, hey, I don't know if you can help me, but I spent $80 for a reading and it was only 20 minutes and nothing that she said made sense. And I was telling her that she didn't answer my questions and this kind of stuff. And so this actually just happened to me this weekend. The thing is, not all tarot readers will do that. Not all readers in general will do that. This was just one. Where she said, I paid because she's got really great reviews. She's got a lot of followers, whatever it was. And I gave her my questions and she only answered 2 out of the 10. And she told me things that don't make sense. And she was just very anxious because she thought she had wasted her money. She got no guidance. She got no advice. She got none of that stuff. And I do just want to say with tarot, we're not supposed to 100% give advice or guide you in the way that a therapist would or anything like that, but we can show you the way that the energy is moving. And what people don't understand with tarot, and I don't care because it's very true, tarot is predictive based on the energy that it's picking up presently. So it's picking up the energy of either yourself, if you're reading for your love life, if you're reading for your job, whatever it is, it's picking up the energy that's swirling around right now and which way that energy can go. So it's not going to be ever a definite 100%. Oh, yep, no, you're getting a promotion on this month. No, it's telling me that it's picking up on really great, abundant, positive energy that will get you that promotion, most likely in about a month or so. But between that and then, that energy absolutely can change because we change like the course of our reality by the decisions we make, right? By the way that we react. So something you do have to remember about tarot is it will never be 100% predictive. I really don't know where that came from. I know that it got really, the 60s and 70s, it was a big boom with tarot before it kind of died off and hit another big boom. But it's not predictive the way that people expect it to be predictive. Okay. So please remember when you book a tarot reading, whether it's regular tarot, whether it's an oracle reading, whatever it is, messages from your person. That's a really big one that I see. Um, Please know that it's just picking up right now on energy that could change tomorrow, that could change next week, that could change in 4 weeks. So it's never entirely definite, right? So when I read, what I tell my clients is this is the energy that is swirling around you in a sense, swirling around him, swirling around your job. This is what could happen. Okay. If I am almost 99% sure that something is going to happen that way, I will say it. I will say something like, I almost guarantee that this is going to happen this way, but it's rare that I do that because energy is very fluid and it's very changing. So please remember that when you get a tarot reading, because I have the amount of people like I had that one this weekend and I did give her a reading. I am on the cheaper side because I just tarot can help a lot of people. I've seen it help a lot of people. It's helped me sometimes. Before I started doing this, like for myself and putting myself out there, I got tarot readings and they definitely did help me. And unfortunately, we live in a world where a lot of people cannot afford what they could anymore. So my readings are on the cheaper side. Um, so I gave her my $15 reading and she did tell me she felt really good and really better. And because I do make sure I answer every single question. There are some readers, guys, that won't. You'll ask for a general reading, you'll ask for a love reading. They'll ask you some questions about like, okay, well, what do you want to know about your love life? And then they'll just go and they might not answer everything, but they're just answering whatever the cards are telling them. Okay. So just be aware of that as well. I tend to go in blind, as Kim goes in blind when she does her readings. We don't want to know anything. I don't even like knowing your name, I'll be honest. I don't want to know your person's name. I don't want to know their birthday. You want to know why? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me if he's an Aquarius, if he's a Taurus. It doesn't matter to me if he was born in May, if he was born in September, what year. It means nothing. It means zilch. I don't need it to pick up on that energy. Some readers do, and some readers will ask for it, and that's absolutely fine and fair. Okay. But they shouldn't really need it. That's what I want to say. It might be something to do with their anxiety then that's why they might need it. But honestly, it's not 100% necessary. So if you did ever book a reading with me, I wouldn't be asking you any of this. I don't even read the questions um, until I do the reading. So there are people who will, they'll book a reading with me and then they're going to send me their questions. I'm not reading it until I sit down and I hit record. Okay. And then it's all, like I said, blind. So remember that with tarot, just because what shows up in the cards does not mean it's going to happen. Okay. And I think a lot of people do realize that nowadays with tarot, that, the devil card is not exactly what you think it means. The death card is not what you think it means. I am telling you, I have gotten the death card once when I was reading for someone's health and they did pass away. And that was once out of all the times that I've read for someone's health. Have I ever gotten the death card? And that person ended up passing away. And unfortunately, it was somebody very close to me that I was reading for, so it did suck. But other than that, 9 times out of 10, I'm getting the death card when a part of your personality dies, a pattern dies, or a relationship dies. Okay. So another thing with the cards is that some of them can look pretty scary. Like at the top, look at this, the Kim's wonderful deck. I have the Eight of Swords. That's a scary looking card because it's a woman trapped around a bunch of swords and she can't move. Again, does not mean she's about to die. Literally means she's trapped mentally, right? So another good thing with tarot is when you look at the cards that are in front of you, if you get a picture or you're getting a live reading, um, half the time the cards are not as scary as they're supposed to look. Okay. This includes the dreaded tower, which everybody, so many people, when I pull the tower on our live reading, they, oh my God, no. Oh my God, no. And I have to be like, relax. Okay. Because tower moments are not always big and drastic. They're small. They can
And
be
they're not
small.
always bad.
Yes, thank you very much. They're not always bad. And a lot of times it's in a massive epiphany you have with yourself that creates that tower moment, meaning it's a thought, it's a pattern that you've broke, it's something that you've realized, right? So very important with the tarot to know that the scary cards 9 times out of 10 do not mean actually what you think they are. Okay.
Well,
Um,
I do have people who have had or do their own cards or whatever, and they'll, oh, I keep getting a tower, I keep getting a tower, something really bad. It has to be bad. It's always going to be bad.
no.
And they get mad because I'm like, it's not necessarily bad.
Oh,
Like it's not going to be
oh,
bad. It could be just a realization finally coming. It's just like,
yep.
oh, it's kind of like a mind-blowing moment, right?
That's
Like,
oh, I love that. That's exactly what it for most people, that's what it is. It's your mind is blown because you get an epiphany and you realize, "Oh my God, this is why this
yeah,
happens my entire life."
like,
I like
oh,
yes. Like there's so many people that they've come to me and they've been like, "I realized that I've done this exact thing in the last 3 relationships. Like, I can't believe it." That's your tower moment right there. That's you being like,
mhm,
"Whoa." Okay, that's
yep,
something like that's a tower moment, right?
yep,
So please don't pay attention to 100% the images on the cards. If they look scary 9 times out of 10, as I said, they're not as scary as you think they are. And
right.
if you get a reading that does scare you, because it does happen. Okay, I had somebody reach out to me and be like, Nikki, oh my God, after your reading, I went on TikTok and I did one of those free yes or no's and they told me that that no, that they're never coming back. No, they told me that they hate me. No, they told me that they got someone pregnant. Listen, with the yes or no's, okay? And I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack from this. It's very difficult to give yes or no answers with no context.
Yeah,
It's why when I do my lives, you get a yes or no and you get a short explanation because it's very difficult to be accurate with yes, no, yes, no, yes, no at in that kind of speed. Like it, I have been on those lives, guys. I see you guys asking sometimes hundreds of people asking the questions, and the reader be like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of answers in such a short time. Hitting that person, it will at times you will get an answer that possibly is not yours. And I know I might get a lot of flack for that, but it does happen sometimes with me. Okay.
mhm,
So when you get those type of answers, oh my God, he's marrying somebody else. Oh my God, I do have cancer. I'm at somebody I actually had somebody come on my live, I think it was a few months back. and I don't know if Lindsay would remember this, my moderator. They asked about their health because they went to somebody who told them that they probably, yes, do have cancer, and that they got their results back. And this person found out from the doctor they don't have cancer. So this person's now wondering what the tarot reader pulled up and if there's cancer elsewhere in their body.
Oh gosh.
I know.
That's
So
awful.
yeah, so that kind of stuff, that in itself, I don't I will answer health related questions to a degree. But stuff like that, you see, I don't like that because now that person was overthinking. They were going a little bit crazy. And I'll be honest, I did give them a free reading because I felt for them. I felt for them and I gave them a quick free reading. And then, sent them on their way. And they did touch base with me like 2 or 3 weeks ago to say that no, their blood work showed they had no cancer. So if you have something like that where you get an answer that does have you shook, please, please, if tarot is your go-to, get a second reading from a different source. Okay.
Yeah.
Get a second reading from a different source because you might get a completely different answer. And then you're going to know that something is amiss. Okay. And even if you get a different answer, it might sometimes give you more anxiety in the sense that what? Well, the second reader said opposite. The first reader said this, the second reader said this. Um, when that happens, and I'm telling you it will, it happens. I have had so much clients been like, Nikki, you said this, but this reader said this. When that happens, the best thing that you can do and the best advice I give my clients is I tell them about the energy thing. And I'm like, remember that energy changes. Okay. I read for you a couple weeks ago, could be completely different from now. All right. But tarot will also pick up on your dominant thoughts. It will pick up on your dominant thoughts. So if I'm pulling cards that's telling me that that your ex-husband's not coming back because he doesn't know if he wants this relationship, I want to know if your dominant thoughts are, well, he's going to leave me. Well, he's just going to abandon me. Well, he's going to find somebody better. Well, I'm not good enough. Because I guarantee you, if you're thinking things like that, I'm pulling that up in the tarot deck. I'm
Well,
pulling
if
that up.
you're also putting it out in the universe as what you're writing
Yeah,
your script, I guess.
that's exactly it. And you're putting that energy out there. So that's the energy I'm getting, or that's the energy that the other tarot reader is getting. Right. So when you do have two different tarot readers and you have them not pitted against each other, but two different scenarios, the best thing that I tell people to do is like, don't get another reading for a while. Pull back your energy. Don't do that. Don't spiral down and get reading after reading after reading. Take that time, take that space, pull back that energy, be quiet and be silent and see what your inner knowing in a sense is telling you. Because I'm telling you, if you can differentiate between your intuition and your ego, you will be able to know which reading you resonate with the most, right? It's true. So you will come across tarot readings that will have you shook. I've had tarot readings myself from people that have had me shook. Um, quite often. I had one woman telling me that I was gonna, get accidentally pregnant after my two daughters. And because I don't want another another baby, that
No, thank
totally
you.
freaked me out. Freaked me out.
Yeah.
And I know that seems insignificant maybe, but to me that actually had me shook because it raised my anxiety and I was like hyper vigilant when it came to that kind of stuff for a while in my life until I realized she's what she's playing up my fears because I did have that fear. I did have that fear. And that's what she was pulling on. But I was able to differentiate with that after maybe 2 weeks of freaking out. It took me that long to get it. So honestly, you're never going to get 100% perfect tarot reading. Um, it's rare that you're going to get a perfect tarot reading. It's rare. If you get a reading that is all sunshine and rainbows all the time, um, I don't know about that. I don't know because
Yeah.
a good tarot reader should be able to pull up also a little bit of the nitty gritty. So if you get one that's rainbow and sunshines all the time, that's one that I would question, right? I would question that one. But if you've got anxiety from a tarot reading, you've got to pull back your energy a little bit. You've got to pull back your energy and you've got to remember energy's fluid and it's changing and it could be wrong in that moment in time from what it is pulling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, it's also very hard when someone is, getting a reading and, maybe you've had readings and it's kind of like gives you what you want, like, says, gives you something decent. And then you
Yeah.
go and then you can be in a good mood. And then you have another one and someone says like, no, that's not going to happen. We're like, that's not
Oh,
happening, whatever. And that will
yeah.
send you. like, that can make you spiral
Yep.
so bad,
Yep.
put you in a bad mood, then you're just, you're not doing yourself any favors, you
Yep.
know? So, don't try to live and die on what these readings say, essentially, like,
Absolutely.
don't throw I don't know, there's so many, is it like, "Don't throw all your eggs in a basket," or whatever, right? Like, there's so many
It's true.
things that you could say, but you need to and I'm not gonna tell you that I don't get, like, stressed out, right? Like, "What?
Mhm.
Why?" Right?
Mhm.
Um, but to just try to do your best to be logical and go into your inner, into yourself and be like, "Okay," and figure out why your ego is throwing you through this,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, good point. Yeah.
And kind of think like, okay, why? Why is this triggering me? Why is this making me so upset? And then kind of try to work it out. Because I can tell you that I have seen people like months in a bad, bad mood. And that because they just keep replaying that thing in their head that they were told.
Yep.
And that's it. That's it. Nobody, nobody else can tell them different. And this is what it's going to be. And that's not even a way to
Yep.
live.
No.
You're allowing someone um, to take away your power
Mhm.
by allowing someone to give you a reading that can shake you so much.
Mhm.
When it comes for me, I don't generally say anything about health, unless I feel guided to. And
Right.
I do know of once, and I didn't find out till later, and I don't really even remember, but apparently, in my reading, whoever came through to the person said, had me say, like, just why don't you go to the doctor just to make sure everything's kind of,
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
good, just make sure you're in good health, whatever. You
Right.
haven't really been looking after yourself very well. Maybe just go to the doctor, just make sure everything's okay. And like it wasn't scary. It was just like, just come make sure. Um, and it was a few years later that the lady came in and it was on the phone. So I had no idea what she looked
Mhm.
like.
Right.
I didn't know her name, nothing, right? Like it was very very minimal of what I even would have known. And actually don't even remember it at all. And when I saw her, she said, "Thank you. Um, I didn't know that I had stage 1 breast cancer."
Wow.
So she
That's
was like, so that helped her. But I didn't do it in like maybe it's how I work with spirit, but I wasn't like, "Hey, you really like you better go to the doctor right
Mhm.
now."
Mhm.
Like there's something really bad with you. I just maybe it's the way spirit works with me. It just said, like maybe just go
Yeah.
make sure everything's okay
Yeah.
and that you're in good shape. And yeah, so she was very happy that I did. And I was shocked. I was just like, that shook me because I was like, "Oh my
Of
gosh."
course.
And then she says, "I'm really excited for my reading now." And I thought, "How do I top that?" You know,
I
how could you
stop
be that
that.
excited? What do you want from me now? I don't do tricks.
I love it.
But yeah, you really have to know who you're giving your power to.
Yeah. Don't let it dictate. Like that's you brought up a good point there. Don't let the reading dictate your life and what you're going to do because that's another thing I see and I hate it. Like people making moves solely based just on what the cards say or what the medium says. Don't do that. Don't do it. I mean, do what you want to do. Always do what you want to do. Don't live your life 100% by a deck and don't live your life 100% by what somebody's telling you that they can pull out. I'm not saying that the deck is inaccurate. I'm not saying that the medium isn't accurate at all. But if you start living your life based on what the tarot reader said, inch by inch, I'm telling you, your anxiety is going to hit the roof. It's going to hit the roof. Okay. Because I have known people who I've had to tell multiple times, just because I'm saying this doesn't mean it's going to happen. Don't assume it. Don't assume that. Assume this. Think in your favor. You will always hear me say assume and think in your favor, regardless of what the cards are telling me, because I know that we can change our reality. I have done it myself many a times in my own, and I know people who've done it. It's a real thing. So I will always say, please, no matter what you hear, no matter what you see, assume in your favor, because it can change and it will change if you, in a way, you dictate it to, not the cards or not the person. But I think we live in a world where a lot of people, they need the guidance because they don't feel secure in themselves to make the right decision. So they come to people like Kim or myself, and they, and they get readings from us and they want that guidance. And then there's some of them, and Kim and I know this, there's some of them that want us to tell them what to do with, like, every moment. Every moment. Should I do this? Should I go this way? Well, if I go this way, should I say this? Like, whoa. Um,
Yeah.
but I can understand that because unfortunately that's the world that we live in right now. That's it. That's people are very unsure about themselves, very scared. Self-concept is at a low, whether people want to believe it or not. And it's hard to see, and I hate it because I'm such an advocate for you being confident in yourself, and whatnot. But yeah, so I do think that that works against a lot of people right now. It does.
Well, so many people just fear what's going on.
Hmm.
So many people are not trusting themselves. They're not
Yeah,
trusting that they have the ability. They're not trusting, um, you know, anything that they can do. And as soon as you start relying on other people's, words, predictions, it's even like with the government, with, religion, when you start putting, your happiness, your future into other people's hands, you're just gonna be messed up. You're
absolutely.
because you don't know which way is the right way to go,
Yeah.
and you will just make yourself miserable because then, especially right now, if you just hear so many people that are so angry, right? So angry about whatever, and it's on both sides or like I don't even know if
Yeah.
there's two sides. I think there's like 10, 15
I was gonna say
sides.
there's like 10,
And
15, 20 sides these days.
like nobody just can understand somebody else's issues or whatever. So, don't allow that to invade you and to take
Mhm,
over your peace,
mhm,
just in general. So for readings or anything, you really need to gather your strength, center yourself, and trust yourself, and sit
mhm.
sit within yourself, because nobody can do anything to you or make you feel any way without your permission,
Very true. Very true. Yeah, we
you
give
know?
way too much credit that way. We do, to other people and external forces in our life. And you know, we give into triggers. But I can understand that a lot of people actually aren't taught, and I'm going to say the word taught because it's true, taught how to manage your triggers. You're not taught in school. You should be, but you're not. You're not taught, by your family. You're not taught unless you teach yourself. So the amount of people that are triggered by what they see showing them the opposite of what they want, or what they assume, what they crave, what they desire, whatever it is, and the spiraling that happens, you can't even blame them half the time. You can't blame them.
Yeah. Well, some of these people that do come in wanting readings, they're so desperate to hear
Yeah.
one thing that they want to hear. So if they even hear a little bit like of a dip, like little bit off from what they want to hear or
Mhm.
completely different,
Mhm.
that can just make them lose their minds,
Yeah.
you know?
I have a question.
And yeah.
So have you ever, and I probably asked you this, and I probably did everybody. Kim and I have known each other for a while, so I might have asked her this question and forgot. But um, have you ever had a client come to you because they want to touch base with somebody who's passed on, um, and have they ever asked you anything specific? Or after the reading asked you why this person didn't come through, why they didn't get an answer on this, like, have you ever had that happen? Like, they came in with these
Oh, yeah. All
expectations
the time.
and they're
A lot.
upset about it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times they are, but I have to tell people, like, I can't make promises. There are times that, um, these people that come through, there's things that you're not supposed to know,
Mhm.
or you're not ready to know yet.
Yeah,
So
makes
you
sense.
gotta know that spirit is like the intelligence of spirit is just amazing.
Yeah.
So you need to kind of trust, um, that you're not getting the information for a reason. Because
Mhm.
a lot of information that you get, what you do with it can really depend on where you are at that minute, right? If you find out something that's, you know, earth shattering and you are in a happy place, you can easily move off. Or if they're like, oh, wow, yeah, this is all going to collapse and be gone, right? Well, you could be struggling and, maybe looking at going into bankruptcy or something like that. And then they could just be saying, like, don't worry, it's going to work out. Like, it's going
Right.
to collapse. Like, oh, this is going to disappear. Um, but a lot of times, like, you're not supposed to know the answer yet. Right? Um, I don't know how else to ex
No, that makes
explain it.
sense.
It's just,
That yeah.
like, you really do need to be where you need to be to
Mhm.
do with the information what they kind of intend for you to do.
Mhm.
Um, because that could be comforting to know. Like, if you're financially just, like, up to here and you don't know and you're stressed out and you have a reading and people are like, it's all gonna, like, just collapse and it'll be okay. That might sound really terrifying to someone who's at the height of, like, "Oh, I
Right.
gotta try to map these things."
Right.
Um, it's gonna collapse, but other people can be comforted with it. "Oh, that means peace.
Mhm.
Finally, it's,"
I like that.
you know?
Mhm.
So have had it, and I've had people say, like, "Oh, well, I wish so and so woulda came through." Actually, I did do a reading,
Mhm.
a couple weeks ago, and the lady that, got some messages, she got messages from, like, an ex-husband and a coworker who wasn't very kind, like, wasn't a very nice person,
Okay.
and she wasn't really wanting to hear from them.
Mm.
Like, she
Okay.
didn't wanna hear from her. She didn't wanna hear from this coworker who made her life miserable, but
Okay.
they both apologized to her.
Oh,
And they both gave her messages that, like, were able to lift her up to realize, like,
okay.
she'd never had apologies for these people. So it really helped her, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't people she wanted to hear from, but it was the people she needed to hear from.
That's right.
And you always know what you need.
Yeah. Oh my god, how true is that? How true.
Yeah.
The whole, what you want sometimes is not what you need. 9 times out of 10, what
Mhm.
you want is not what you need in life. That's
No.
that's a that's a lesson I hate learning over and over again. I have another question. I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm sorry. So,
That's
again,
alright.
I think we actually touched base on this because I think I know what you're gonna say, but I'm asking it anyway. So have you ever had anybody come to you, have that reading, and it completely freak them out, completely scare them?
No,
Oh, I like
I
that
don't
then.
I don't believe so. When I give readings, and I'm sure I've said this before, but I always, before I do it, even if I don't know who the people are, and a lot of times I don't even remember the names. It's like, "Oh, hi. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay." Um, but before I kinda say to spirit, "Please bring through the people who will give the most healing
yeah.
to this person," right? Um, and that's how I go into it. And when I give the readings, I think sometimes I go for a long time, but I believe that a lot of the times the ones that go longer, it's because I don't wanna cut off spirit, right?
Yeah.
And I feel that they are wanting to give a message, like, this is a private reading, right? When we're talking private.
Yes.
And I think it helps them to, by the time it's done, to feel comfortable and to actually have started to see how things make sense and how things have come together, so it's not scary for them.
Okay.
I really don't know. If someone's been scared, terrified after, they never told me.
Mm. Well, what advice would you give? Because I've had people that have, like I said, I've done a couple of those, like the group ones, which was a great experience. But I have known people after who got a little bit freaked out by the person that came to, or the things that they said. Um, and I mean, I never really, it was in my reading, so I never really consoled them after, or really gave them much advice. But if that happens to anybody, because I'm sure that there's been people who are listening to this that have experienced that, a mediumship reading where what they've heard or what message they brought to them has shaken them. So, like, either it's made them scared, or either it's just made them so emotional that, like, in a positive way, and they don't really know how to handle the after effects of it. What would you tell them to do?
Oh, well, I'd absolutely have them maybe talk to the medium, or, and just kind of say, "Hey, this is how I'm feeling."
Hmm.
And maybe the medium can help them with
Uh-huh.
kind of explaining. Um, but I think I really think that would be the best way, because that's the
Uh-huh.
person who is doing the communication.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not talking about complain or whatever, but if somebody is feeling like that, I would like somebody to come and talk to me so they're not like spinning
Yeah.
out and scared. I wouldn't want somebody to be scared from anything that I said.
Yeah.
Um, there is an instance, I guess, that I did do a reading for one person, and she recorded it, and she let somebody else very close to the person who passed away listen to it as well. And because the spirit that came through only wanted to talk to the person that was there,
Mhm.
because they were very important to them too, that made the other person who was listening to it feel like they were being broken up with through spirit, or like they didn't want to have anything to do with them, and that wasn't it at all.
Mhm.
The spirit that was coming through wanted to capitalize on the time with that person, didn't want to talk about other relationships with other people. They wanted to just talk about those, like them and the person that was sitting.
Got it.
And so, that gave this other person this idea that this was so bad. And like, that's again, like, why would you think that, you know, that
Mhm.
wasn't the
Mhm.
reason why,
Yeah.
that wasn't
Wow.
the reason why. And then they had a reading and they just focused on them.
Mhm.
Right. So we need to, I think, tailor our expectations
Oh, I like
and
that.
realize
Mhm.
not everything's about you. You know,
Yep.
I could have more than one relationship, with another human being that's significant, right?
Yep.
Like I got 3 kids. I can have a significant relationship with them. We're friends. We can have a significant relationship.
Of
So I'm
course.
not going to be probably if you know you came through and we were having a message with each other. I don't think that I'd be like, oh hey, so here, this is what my kids are doing. Well, you know what my kids are doing.
Yeah.
Um, but we're just going to tailor it to to
Yeah.
the person that you want to talk to.
Mhm.
And
That's good
because it's
advice.
personal.
Yeah.
You know,
No, that's good advice.
is
I
very rarely do you get messages for other people? At least I don't find that I get a lot of
Mhm.
messages for other people.
Mhm.
Um, but if they do, like, somehow it's, like, wound in.
Okay. Yeah.
But
With what they're
very
talking
rarely
about.
it's yeah, yeah, like, very rarely. It happens, but it's just the poor people. I did actually today's an anniversary is a very hard anniversary for me. Today is 11 years since my first dog that I had, that I got as an adult, passed away. And she passed away in 2014. And I went to an evening with spirit, like a platform mediumship thing, about 3 weeks later. It was the 29th of November. And I was devastated by um,
Right.
my dog Allie passing away, like devastated. Like I didn't even know how I was going to function. Right.
Yeah.
Like it was just,
Mhm.
it was so hard for me. And it was the first time I'd ever taken them to the vet to, say goodbye and things like that.
Yep.
So I'd gone to an evening with spirit, and 3 people came and they gave I got these messages from 3 different people,
Mhm.
and I was really excited. So I was talking to the mediums after, and then I heard my friend saying, "Hey, Kim, 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 you gotta come here. You gotta come here." So I went. I was like, "Hey, just a second. Like, I'm busy," right? Didn't really realize what was
Mhm.
going on. Well, when I don't know if I told you guys this story before, but probably. But so when I went back, there was another lady who was a medium at the church. I wasn't at the time. I was just somebody who would go. And she said to me, I have to tell you, there is this beautiful white dog sitting beside you, and she had the most beautiful spirit. And she wants you to know that, you did everything that you could. And she was just like talking, and I'm looking and I'm just bawling. Like I can't even talk. Like not
Mhm.
even there's no communication going. It it just hit me. Like it was I went into the kitchen, I was, like, trying to cry. Well, it's 2 months later that I saw the lady again because I couldn't even breathe. Like, there was no way, right? So, there
Wow.
was no verification. My friend obviously said, "Yeah, she lost her dog or whatever, 3 weeks ago." But when I saw this lady a couple of months later, I was like, "Hi, I really wanna apologize."
Oh,
Like, and she said,
aw.
"I didn't know what to do." She says, "I felt so bad. I didn't know, did I
Oh,
do something wrong?" And I said, "No, no, it was just so soon, and it just, like, hit me, and I just miss her so much." And, like, I still get weepy when I think about her because she was just,
I know.
like, the most amazing dog, right?
Yeah.
So, there's those things that happen, right? Like, that shook me. Like, that my
Yeah.
dog, like, it was just I could have 3 people that I love that came through with messages, but my little dog who was, like, my
Yeah.
baby,
Yeah.
it was
That's
just
what did it.
it was crazy. Yeah, yeah. Mm.
You know what? I
So, that
actually
poor
really like
lady,
that.
but
I like that you shared that story because it's good for everybody listening to know that we also get shooked with our readings. I mean, I've gotten shook. I don't. There's nothing profound that happened to me like it did with Kim. Except I did touch upon it actually when Kim read for me and mentioned a perfume bottle and stuff for my great grandma. That was more along the lines of no, I didn't think that Kim was wrong, but I didn't understand what it was and I didn't know it, and then I forgot about it and found out a couple days later from my mom. My mom told me exactly what it was, and it was like, whoa. But I've not had a massively like shook moment like you have. And I'm glad that you shared that because I think that there are people who have went to mediums or have gotten tarot readings, whether it's from me or you or somebody else, and they have felt like that kind of positive surge of, oh my God. Um, and it gave them goosebumps and
yeah.
it lingered with them forever, whether months, years. And I think that I'm glad that you shared that. I'm glad.
Well, and there, I was bawling, like, I was crying, and I think that's where I started to realize that your tears are the seeds to your
Yeah.
healing.
Yes. It's very
I
true.
really believe that's
Yep.
when I really realized it because gosh, I still missed her so much, but how could somebody who I barely had any communication with, I didn't even know her name at the time,
Yeah.
could just sit here and tell me all this stuff and
Yep.
about my dog who passed away, and how beautiful she was and she was a white little multi-poo. She was a little
Um,
turd, like, she was just
like
this
my
cutest
sister.
little thing. I love her so much, and, so it was hard, and, like, how does that happen?
That's
Right, like, how does somebody know that? Right? Like,
yeah.
it was crazy, so, you know, I don't want people to ever walk away feeling a fear or,
Yeah.
being upset. Um, if you're gonna be shook in a good way, that's one thing, because you can do good things with
Mhm.
it. But when you get
Mhm.
something, do not spiral down the negativity because as soon as you start doing that, you are writing your own story.
Yeah, that's right.
If it's something bad's gonna happen, something bad's gonna happen. You know what? Don't be surprised if something bad happens
Exactly.
because you have
Exactly.
repeatedly threw that out into the universe.
Mhm. No, exactly. That's a very good point. It's a very good point. Um, I think this was a great episode. I loved it. I did
Yeah.
love it.
Well, people people this is such a beautiful thing that we can do,
Mhm.
right? And that's
Mhm.
why it will shape. because it touches you. It's touching something in your
Yeah.
soul. It's bringing something to life.
Yeah.
So yeah, like people need to know that this is perfectly acceptable. Uh,
Mhm.
you know, nobody's going to look down on you or, and even if you're scared to get a reading, no one's going to look down on you because it's
Boom.
something that's so personal and like it's not, just a regular occurrence. It's not like going down to the store and getting yourself a double double.
Fair.
Like this is something
Exactly.
a little bit different.
It's very true. It is personal. It is a personal experience, and that's why it does shake us, even when it's an amazing, incredibly positive, heart rendering, heartwarming, I should say, experience. That's why it shakes us, because you brought up a good point, because it hits something in you. It hits something in your soul, in your consciousness, in your knowing, and that's why it shakes you. And perhaps it needed to shake you. It sometimes that's what it does. It needs, like Kim says, you sometimes it needs to happen. Um, and never should be scared about getting either a mediumship reading or a tarot reading ever. Um, Never. Don't be scared. You're going to go in with that energy, and you don't want that. You don't want that
No.
energy. No.
No.
I
No.
do have a
And if
question
someone's
though.
telling you you're sick, you
Oh,
got to look after that.
yes. No,
No, just
seriously
like if
though.
someone tells you you're sick,
Yeah.
those are things you should look into, but don't stress out.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't
Maybe just
take
get checked out just to calm yourself.
No, it's fair. It's fair. Don't take they shouldn't be diagnosing you anyway. That's such a big no-no. And I have seen that happen on TikTok. I have seen that happen. People readers diagnosing, "Oh my God, please don't." If somebody's diagnosing you, run the other way. Go to elsewhere. Don't let that person read for you. I do find that a lot of the people who
Yeah.
diagnose a little bit of scammers going on there. Little scamming situation we got with
And
that.
they are setting themselves up for a lawsuit,
Yep. Yep. So
you
if
know?
somebody's telling you, "Oh my God, you're right. You got to go to the doctor because you probably do have cancer." Okay, first of all, go to the doctor anyway, because if you're asking about your health and you're nervous about your health, that means that you should be going to your doctor or to wherever a clinic, a hospital, whatever. But please, dear God, do not take that tarot reader medium at their word if they're telling you something scary about your health. Don't do that, please. And they shouldn't be doing that, and that's bad. Very bad. Anyway, so I have to
Yeah,
say
they
that.
they don't they should not. Unless you're
Absolutely.
going and you're very specific about what you're doing, a medium should never be giving you should never be taking like well, first of all, if you think you're going to die or whatever they think, don't be going and quitting your job and telling people off or
Yep,
just
don't do that.
chill and just say spirit, please bring to me what I need to make the proper
Mhm.
decisions, or just something, just
Yeah.
ask for help because remember you can talk to your spirit guides and
Mhm.
maybe they can help you with,
That's a very good
calming
idea.
yourself
That's
down or
good
figure out a
advice.
plan.
Yeah, very good advice, very good advice, um, to give. Yeah, ask your spirit guide, ask whatever you believe in, God's angels, whatever it is. Ask them to guide you, especially when it comes to topics like your health. Don't leave it to a tarot deck or anything else. Don't do that. That's a little bit of silly. So, but you know what's interesting? I do have a question about religion. It actually came from a client, Alyssa. Okay. Um, and it's
Okay.
funny because we're talking about health. And so she asked, she's like, I finally have a question for your podcast, LOL. Um, is it healthier to be more religious or more spiritual? I thought that was interesting because she used the term healthy and we're talking about health.
Mhm.
Because I actually told her I need a few minutes to answer that for you because that's interesting. Is it healthier to be more religious or spiritual? I'm assuming that she means mentally and
I
emotionally healthy.
mhm. I would say it depends on how you are approaching it. Like if it's
Yeah.
you know, Jim Jones making you drink your blue Kool-Aid, then it's probably better to not be following his cult. Like you
Fair.
it's what you feel. It's whatever is fires up your
You know,
soul.
yes, that's what I was
If
gonna
if
say.
a certain religion fires up your soul, but, then do it. If you're, like, against it like me, I don't I believe every religion is its original foundation is love. That's everything. Now, different religions have every religion has, the not great people, um, but it's whatever you feel, right? Like me, I didn't sit with a lot of, the, you know, "Die for your sins," and sin," like, all that kind of like, that didn't sit right with me. And being told to that you had to do this, and if you didn't, you
Mhm.
were gonna go to AG double hockey sticks. Like, I didn't see how that would happen. So, when I came into, spiritualism, that's when it all made sense, because it
Yeah.
answered everything, and it is a religion. Spiritualism is a
Mhm,
religion,
mhm,
right? So, it's really, I think, how what what it is you're looking at and who you are.
I like that.
If you're gonna force yourself, if you don't like certain Christian things, probably not good mentally if you're gonna be trying to go to a Protestant church or a Catholic church and, going through all the different things that
Yep.
they gotta do. Like, that's probably not gonna be good for you because don't it doesn't resonate with you, and you're forcing yourself to do
Mhm.
something that somebody else wants you to do
I
or
like that.
someone's telling you to do.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
I think that would be the healthiest thing.
It's whatever, to be honest, makes you feel good and makes you feel connected. Kim's right. It's that fire. And whether that is the religion you were brought up in, great. If it's not and it's something else like it was for me, fantastic. Then it is. Personally, I don't resonate with the faith that I was brought up with, which is the Catholic. I never resonated with me. I don't hide that from anybody. Something else resonated with me and made me feel connected to God or the source or energy or whatever you'd like to call it. And before people say certain things about spirituality or whatever, Kim and I do, we do believe in God. Our versions of God are maybe different than a lot of people's. Versions of God, but we do believe in God, right? We do believe in that kind of energy. Kim is right. Every one of them came from fine scientifically, and you go back in the past. It's paganism. Yes, it all came from them, but it also came from love. It also came from love because love is the highest vibration that can be measured, and that is where it all comes from. And there are um, certain things in certain religions and spiritual practices that got over the years misconstrued and are not so much about love as they should be. But I think, Kim, I agree with Kim. The healthier one for you will be the one that makes you feel that connection, that love. Um, and you will also most likely know if something's not for you because you're not going to agree. Honestly, it's a cliche. You're not going to agree with certain things that they say about people or about situations in the world. It's those little signs. You'll get those triggers. You can feel those, right? It's like your inner knowing coming through. So I think you hit it on the head with the whole like it's your inner fire. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you gotta find something that you can yourself trust and feel safe in,
Mhm. It's a big one. Yeah.
because I do believe that some stuff does not make people feel safe. Um, and I think you should feel safe, you should feel secure, you should feel love, and you should, in my opinion, stuff can happen. Like all this stuff is going on right now. I personally have a very like I'm not on any side of the fence because I'm on a different side, like
Yes.
altogether. Like I just see this as very different than it being like the what is that, like the angry chicken fighting match or whatever they have. Like, what do they got? Like,
Nope, I
they
know
got,
exactly
like,
what you
what do
mean.
they call it? Like those bird fights, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just
Cockfights.
like it's like somebody wants to win, and I don't see that there's a win when you are trying to prove that your thoughts and philosophies are better than someone else's.
It's a lose-lose.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, guys. That was a
Yeah.
good question, and this was a great episode, I think.
Yes.
So,
We
um,
have the next one coming up.
thank you, Kim, because I forgot.
Oh, this looks like Nikki's. That dreams, portals, or processing.
Oh, yes. I'm excited for that one too. The amount Kim knows because Kim tells me her dreams. But a lot of people come to me with their dreams. I'm not a dream reader in a sense. I will decode dreams for certain people. It takes a lot of my time and energy. It's not as simple as putting in Google. Although I do say if you're dreaming and you're confused about something in your dream, definitely Google it. But reading dreams is like reading tarot. So I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with that episode as well. I'm going to do a call out for people to share their dreams if they are comfortable with sharing their dreams with us, of course, on our social media. So we'll see what we get with that. But yay.
PG, please.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'm not going to be reading any of those other stuff. No. Okay.
Just yes. Okay. Well, yeah, we can discern what's going on there.
Yeah, we'll
So,
we'll we'll discern. We'll discern.
oh well.
Okay,
But
everybody, thank you so much for joining us for another episode. Again, we had a lot of fun. I hope you guys learned a lot of things. Thank you for your questions. Kim, tell everybody to like and follow and stuff. That's your job.
yes, and we will never, ever, ever email you
Yes.
to for a reading. Please know this. I've seen several people having to say this, and it's been quite.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So we're not going to try to scam you. So
No.
thank you very much. Just yes, like, share, subscribe, and you can go to Spotify. Comment, please comment, because we want to know what you think of our episodes. We would
Absolutely.
love.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody. I hope you have a great evening, a great day, depending when you're listening to this, and we will see you next week.